sadly, ironically enough, I was hit with a heart disease.
Oh God.
Yeah, so I was hit with a heart disease, but thank God I'm good now. I got cleared, finished out my college career.
What kind of heart disease?
They said it was HCM, which is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So it was a weird time. It was weird how things just happened. Got tested, everything was fine, everything was good, and got cleared. But at that point, that's when I transferred. I went to Nassau Community College in Long Island. I went back home, did my freshman year there, but my dad was on dialysis at that point. So my dad had a kidney disease around that same time too.
Oh.
So he was hit with a kidney disease called FSGS. And right when I left Lackawanna, that's when he told me he had to start dialysis. He was at probably like the worst stage. He was doing dialysis 3 times a week for like 3-4 hours a session or something like that. So I ended up going to Nassau. I was working 4 jobs, like full-time, full-time athlete, full-time student. There was nights I was even sleeping in my car. Like if I would drive to like a location to work overnight or something, I would just have a bag packed. I would sleep in my car instead of driving home, and then just drive to campus, shower in the locker rooms, get ready for class the next day.
Jesus.
So that was my routine for a little bit. And then after that, situations happened, coaching staff, football stuff wise happened. I ended up going back into ASA College, which is in Brooklyn. Did my sophomore year there. I did my sophomore year there. Then going through the recruiting process, my dad was told to go to UC Health in Colorado for, to see if he can get on the transplant list here. So ironically enough, he came out here and got put on the transplant list like that. So now he's on the transplant list in New York and in Colorado. So I'm going.
So he hasn't got it yet?
No, he did. So he got his transplant.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he was telling me that he's in both states basically. And long story short, I tried to figure out what was best for the family at the time. So I was getting offers from other schools in Nebraska, North Carolina, like other schools all over the place. And there were schools that I was really considering. I decided to forego all of those scholarships and only get recruited in the state of Colorado. And the reason why I did it was because if my dad got a transplant here, I can go to school, play ball, take care of him. My mother doesn't have to take off of work. She can help my sister out back home who was just starting college. Like I had it all planned out. But throughout that process, which is what I kind of do now, I was helping my teammates with their offers. So the scholarships I gave up, I gave them my scholarship so they can go to college.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? So it worked out well that it helped out some of my teammates and friends. And then it helped myself out. Adams State was the last school to offer me a scholarship. And I ended up here.
So you went to school in Colorado then?
Alamosa, Colorado. Yes,
Alamosa? Where's that at?
It's, I think, like 40 minutes outside of New Mexico. It's way down south.
Oh, it's
way down there.
Way far from here.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours from Denver alone.
Is that where your dad got the transplant?
No, so my dad, after I finished my senior year of ball at Adams State, he calls me and tells me that as I'm going through my draft process, training for my my NFL pro day and stuff, he found a kidney transplant in New York.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
well, at least he found one.
Yeah, so I was more than thankful and glad that he found one. But he got the transplant literally right before COVID hit.
Oh.
So thank God it worked out perfect timing for him there too, because he had the family there. He didn't have to worry about going to dialysis during COVID. It was just now recovering from the surgery. So then I came back here, had my pro day. COVID hit right after that and shut Colorado down, shut the NFL down, and then the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even go back home to kind of be there with the family because I'd put him at risk.
That's
so
right. You couldn't be around him. How long did that go on for?
So I didn't see my family until I think 2020, like the end of 2021, early 2022 or something like that. So it was about 1.5 years to almost 2 years since I saw my family. But recently, since that time, for the last 2-3 years, I've been going back home at least once a year.
So while you're going through all this, and you grow up and like since 4 years old, you want to play football, and then you're doing it, and you're going that way, and you're playing for United States, and an ACL tear is like horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that had to feel pretty bad, and then a heart condition, and then the switching the schools, working what you say 3 or 4 jobs,
Working 4 jobs,
yeah, at a time, and then your dad's kidneys, and everything. How did you feel? Like, honestly, like, how did you feel? Did you ever doubt yourself, or did you ever wonder or question, or how did you feel during that?
Truthfully, it was a lot, but I realized the bigger priority that was at hand. You know, like I know it was a lot for my mother more than it was for me. I realized it was more for my sister and on her than it was for me. You know, so I was able to take on that workload, and my main thought process was just to turn my emotions off. I thought that was the best way to go about it at the time, and just stay logical. Realize that if I continue to find solutions, continue to help out, and continue to do my part, that would relieve at least some pain for my mother or my family, you know, try to be there and support them. So I turned my emotions off, and I was just completely logical throughout my entire process of this. Just, okay, so after class, like I would wake up in the morning, drive to school, go to my morning classes, then I would have to drive back home. I would cook dinner while my dad was in the hospital, cook dinner so my sister has dinner when she gets out of high school, drive back to campus, get ready for practice, get ready for class, finish out the day, drive back to the hospital to pick up my sister because sometimes she'll either be at the hospital, or I would go to the house, pick up dinner, drive it to the hospital so my mother could eat because she was staying at the hospital with my dad, then drive back home, make sure my sister was situated, go to sleep, wake up, do it again the next day.
Tough.
And that was like my routine. But like I said, I mean, I realized that if I just turn the emotions off and just be there and be supportive and do what I needed to do instead of focusing on what I wanted to do or focusing on my feelings, then it'll make everybody's lives a lot easier.
Do you think this, I mean, besides, you know, the struggle, that if everybody had to face a grind like that, whether it's, you know, a hard one or maybe it's something that's a pursuit of a career or whatever, that it would, do you think it defines you a little bit better now? Do you think now that you've lived through it, do you think like, do you find it helped your work ethic and like who you are?
Oh, 100%. I think it definitely helped the work ethic, but I'm not sure if it can define me, because one thing that I realized as I got older is that life repeats itself in a lot of different ways, and it only gets harder as you get older, you know? So you could only learn so much from the situation, whether you turn your emotions off, you're logical, your emotion, like whatever it is. But eventually that same problem will come back around. It'll come back around just a tad bit harder or just the same. And it's about how you adjust to it and move forward. So I'm not sure if it really defines me, because I feel like there's more definition to me as I continue to get older.
Yeah, I think I may have worded that wrong. Help defined. Like,
then yeah. I definitely think it would help the character as it goes on. But there's just so much more to life, and like I said, I know there's gonna be more problems that are gonna repeat itself at some point.